This is the final seat back that's in, but it's pretty much the same procedure with all of it. And then these welds, they're on the side. Key is to break those free. This seems movable on both sides, so that becomes an issue of along the back here. So these are again flared to fit into the seats. So by getting a hammer in there and kind of twisting, becomes possible. Make sure that the metal is all on this side. Okay. So going through this. Good. Cool. So then you can work your way down. And the bottom. So there's some movement. Okay. Little ductility, but no brittle fracture yet. That's good. That's good. You need to kind of brace it. That's okay. So there's kind of some pressure there. It's preventing it. Just a controlled blow near. So this rounds out the metal, which tends to make it a little bit harder with the creasing approach, but it does prevent any of those kind of bends from forming because the pressure is being applied from the center rather than the edges, so it rounded out those kind of bends. So it takes both, bending the metal and a little bit of sledgehammering up here, where there's already significant deformation. Okay, so bent the hammer on that one. That's not good. Oops. So, in light of that, I just take the sledgehammer to both sides and see what happens. Oh, jeez. Never lean all the way into one spot. Now, I guess the spot would be down here at this point. Now this hammer is completely bent. That's not going to work. Having bent this hammer, attached with plastic, and that's probably not what it was used for. I've instead switched to this crowbar that in its entirety is drop forged, so it should be pretty strong. In case it's too tight of a space, I also have another hammer. Again, but now with the crowbar, same process of bending it back, get that piece totally around. But then with this piece, again, kind of bending it And this is where the longer arm of the crowbar is particularly helpful. I did get a little bit of a tear there, but I'm starting to open up this gap to be able to apply pressure at the bottom. So now, all right, that's some considerable movement. This whole side is just about out. Right here, there was a little bit of an issue with this tab of metal. That's no problem for even just a little bit of a hammer, kind of a twist, to draw it out. And you can see that this thin of a piece of metal is that ductile that I can just kind of bend it around. And with a little force, it'll be able to pull out. Putting the tines on either side of the metal is particularly helpful because then its range of, or degrees of freedom are reduced. Just to check, I'll do this hot for a little bit. So from here you can see that this tab is not causing too much of an issue, but its lower side is still very flared out. Now, the main issue that's happening here is this bend right there. I'm using this sledgehammer to kind of change the shape of the metal right here. This is not conventional sledgehammer technique. Alright, well, that did next to nothing, but did round out the metal a little bit and maybe caused a little bit less of an issue here. Pulling out, levering it, should be able to work the metal out. So as you can see, just that one tab is holding on, and it's important not to apply too much force on either side. Alright. So as you can see there, this metal is flapping. This looks like quite a right mess. That tear there is really what's causing the main issue. So there isn't a clear way for the panel to be removed, so it's tearing rather than being pulled apart. Okie dokie. So there's this little bit here. What am I doing? Okay, so this tear that I was trying to prevent has gotten way bigger. And at this point, I'm just gonna bend it around. So that's the sound of me tearing the metal. Once you have that sharp of a crack tip, doesn't require that much force to do. So, that's how it went. It had a lot more damage to the quality of the metal in terms of corrosion, so therefore was less ductile in terms of pulling out, and may have corroded onto this weld of the seat frame. causing issues there.